The Big Issue. Breaking down the issues that matter.
Good evening, viewers. This is The Big Issue for Thursday, March 31st, 2022. My name is Bode Gbadebo, and with me today are in-house analyst Silas Ezigu, Leadership Deputy Head of Stories. Welcome to The Big Issue. And of course, the Politics Editor, Chibuzo Ukebe.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think this is the first time we're meeting like this.
Yeah. No.
Since I joined The Big Issue
Yeah,
today.
exactly. We did this some time back.
Yeah,
And it's nice to have
as co-analyst.
Yes.
But now I'm in the saddle.
Nice to have you.
All right, viewers, this is The Big Issue, as I said earlier. Earlier today, there was a report that bandits blocked the Abuja-Kaduna Expressway. And of course, you know, in the last 3 days or so, security matters have dominated the polity. And of course, they are very, very germane issue. Today, we shall be looking at the long list of presidential aspirants, people who are handling to succeed President Muhammadu Buhari come 2023. We want to know them. Who are they? What do they have in the stock? And particularly, what kind of president Nigerians are actually desirous of getting after Muhammadu Buhari. Before we delve into that discussion, let's first go to Kaduna to get an update about the reported attack by bandits on the ever-busy Abuja-Kaduna Expressway. We have been joined by our Kaduna Bureau Chief, Isaiah Benjamin. Isaiah, good evening.
Yeah, very good evening, sirs. And thank you for having me.
I'm not sure Isaiah has joined us. Okay, Isaiah has not joined us. All right, let's go into the discussion proper. Now, we have a lot of Nigerians cutting across the political arena, the business community, academics, you know, and even people who you don't even exactly. You know, everybody coming up to say we want to succeed President Buhari come 2023. So let's actually know who are these for the benefit of our viewers and know what do they have in store for us, but particularly what kind of president we as Nigeria are desirous of getting after Muhammadu Buhari's 8-year tenure. Let's start with former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, who was Vice President for 8 years, a businessman par excellence, you know, community leader, and also, a creator of jobs. You know, he's a creator of jobs. Now, Silas, let me start with you. How do you perceive former Vice President Atiku Abubakar? Give us your perspective. Is he a kind of person we should listen to again after many years in the saddle and after many attempted contests to become president? So tell us.
Yeah, it's a bit of out there what Atiku can represent as a president. He has run for that thing for six times now.
Yes.
Before this democratic
he broke President Muhammadu Buhari's record.
But in 1993 started off. So he's been running, and he was elected governor.
1999. Yes.
Before he could, run,
sworn in.
He was made by. So we couldn't see actually what he could do with the political power as a chief executive. Do you understand? So he became vice president, and as vice president in Nigeria, basically time. Especially if you are running, if you are working with someone like general like passenger. In fact, after the first tenure, the organization saw her to the point that they wanted her to out. They even tried to kick him out of the, they went to court and returned his seat as vice president, but obviously it was no longer doing anything for. So for that 4 years, can only say, the impact what he would do with power when it's given. As a businessman that's successful, known as a billionaire, whatever, it was also a public service, I think in customs at the time. So nobody can really say for sure what he will do with power. The thing that he's an experienced campaigner. Okay? And then people are also a bit cautious with him. Apart from the fact that he's well advanced in age. When Buhari came on board, he said he would have preferred to have president much earlier.
Yeah.
That he wouldn't be able to do the much he would have done because his age was counting on him. And you can see that Buhari's government has practically dissembled over the last 7 years. So Nigerians will be worried to put another somebody who is already in late 70s, to give him that job because of the kind of troubles we are facing now. don't want somebody who will be going to Dubai every day for checkup when there are issues at stake. You know, so for now, you know, to go with him is a risk because he has never exercised executive power
Okay.
politically.
I think you need to hold it up there. We'll continue from where you stopped. Alance Isaiah Benjamin, our Kaduna correspondent, has joined us from Kaduna. Good evening, Isaiah.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me, sirs.
All right, Isaiah is not here. Now, you said when he was vice president, yes, before the risk, you said when he was vice president, there was no impact or so. Am I right?
I wouldn't say
Okay.
it couldn't point at anything you could say
Because I want to,
because even during the presentation,
I want to draw your attention to,
which was under him.
he was the chairman of the
Yeah, and
National
you can see that
Parliamentary
a lot
Council.
of the things that happened under
Became
that,
controversial somehow.
not just remember it killed all those public enterprises. He put Verify there as the PP boss at that time.
Exactly.
And you can see that all those enterprises that were even surviving at that time, they died a natural death out of which of them is still alive. You understand? So you can mention ITEL, even like all the public corporations that were, you know, prioritized died a natural death. So if you use it as a scorecard, you wouldn't get anywhere.
It shouldn't be the person we expect to take over from Buhari. Okay,
Chibuzo, who has shown some
I don't
success
know
in public management.
whether you agree with this or not, because you are more, let me say, for the purpose of this discussion, you are closer to Vice President Atiku than anyone of us. You understand better, having been at the Watata Plaza National Headquarters of the PDP for many years.
I think if you look at all of the vice presidents we've had since '99, he perhaps was the most influential of them, of the lot. And it's primarily because he was fortunate to be there when we
All right, Shibuzo, please, sorry for to cut you short. Alance Isaiah Benjamin has just joined us from Kaduna. Good evening, Isaiah.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
All right, Isaiah, if you are hearing me, I can't hear you. You need to unmute yourself so that we can hear you in the studio.
Okay.
All right, we can't still hear you. You need to unmute yourself so that we
Hello, can you hear me now?
That was Isaiah Benjamin, leadership
Can
correspondent.
you hear me
in
now?
Kaduna, who is going to give us updates on the reported bandit attack on the Abuja-Kaduna Expressway. Chibuzo.
Yeah, so like I was saying, he was he is still the most influential of the lot under the PDP leadership, and it was it was that way because of the transition arrangement. We just came from military to civilian rule. The president we had practically handed over the economy to him and all that, so he wielded a lot of influence. You know, but ever since, I'm not sure we've had a president that influential. But looking at the man at Atiku, well, he is the most experienced, like style as a campaigner, and as such, it gives him an edge, understanding perhaps the nuances of the average voter, having undergone that process much more than any other person. So one would expect that he understands the nuances, he knows the stakeholders. He has a lot of stripes, having suffered a lot of defeat as well. So going into this, one would expect that to hope to leverage on his experience, you know.
But beyond that, Chibuzo, let's look at the state of the nation. Will Atiku fit the bill, as in expectation of Nigerians? Having seen what happened in the last 7 years of Muhammadu Buhari, is Atiku the kind of person Nigerians are expecting to take over in 2023?
Well,
you think so?
It's relative. It is relative. It depends on what the campaign issues will be. As we speak, the campaign issues, I don't think they have changed much since 2015.
No definite thing.
It is still
corruption,
the economy,
security.
Yes, it is still the economy. It is still the corruption has even fallen down. Yes, you know, so we'll be looking at unity of the country, looking at economy. Then we'll be looking at somebody who is able to galvanize hope, give people hope, and a fresh belief in the concept.
And when you talk about unity, I think Atiku can fit that because he have this pan-Nigerian stature.
Well, he has postured himself as that, as somebody who has friends everywhere in every part of the country.
With wives from also different parts of Nigeria. Exactly. So he has a pan-Nigerian stature with wives from
Wives,
all
maybe,
the
yeah,
four
but-
regions of Nigeria.
But it's a different thing when you're in office.
All right,
That's the
Chibuzo,
point I'm trying to
because of time. Now let's look at the next person on the list. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is popularly referred to as Jagabamba Group. Now, Tinubu supported Buhari in 2015. It's no secret. Buhari was voted in 2015 and he waited, he remained.
Atiku also supported him in 2015.
And we all the time, yeah, thank you for that. But people most time talk about Tinubu supporting Buhari more than talking about
Yes,
Atiku
yes.
supporting a Buhari to win.
Yes.
And but I remember they were part of the coalition
Exactly.
that actually on six the PDP. Now, Tinubu's aspiration, which he described himself as a lifelong ambition, for me, is like an entitlement aspiration. I have supported Buhari. It's now my turn automatically to succeed Buhari. Do you see it like that?
Well, you can look at it that way, and you can also look at it from the perspective of somebody who has built all of this over the years.
Structures, people.
Some will tell you all of what he was doing. This perhaps is the climax of it all. Building people, building networks across the country, and all of that. So this is the climax of it all. Whether or not this is the time for him is a different matter altogether, because he'll be having to deal with some other young, vibrant
people
who also want to, make a claim and stake for it. So it's a tough call for him. I really feel perhaps if he had come much earlier than now, he probably would have gotten a better, feel of it. But well, let him get the ticket of APC.
All right, Silas. I think that's very, very important. Let him get the ticket first. Now, it is a common belief that kingmakers should not be king. Tinubu, like Chibuzo said, build structure, build people, is a kingmaker, undoubtedly. Now, should he be the king come 2023? And if so, is it the Messiah we're looking for after Buhari's 8 years in office?
Well, I don't know who wants to get a Messiah today. Those who have pretended to messiahs in the past have become scoundrels in power. Okay, and unfortunately, whenever they want to come to convert for votes and to deceive people, they say they use God in front. God told them this and that. So, we shouldn't be deceived with that kind of messianic comportment. But he said himself that who said that kingmaker cannot be king? And then nobody had told him that kingmaker cannot be king. He said it's not written down anywhere. Okay, and she was mentioning that he had been building towards this thing. The only thing I find a bit somehow is that he says the lifelong ambition. Well, it's only I'm telling us.
And I also said it appears to me as if it's a kind of an entitlement thing.
It's only I'm telling us that it's a lifelong ambition. I know that Tinubu has been running for president in 1993 or thereabouts. So we know that he has been having that ambition since then. I know that Okorocha, whatever I can say about him, have been running for presidency since 2003. But has been running frequently, even last one, Iran. But he was the governor of Iran and he went back to the governorship. So he has been coming and coming. So those who say, these guys have been targeting to be president for long. But this one just came up and told us it's a lifelong ambition. I feel that the opportunity has come now, and you want to latch onto that opportunity. Because nobody has heard about him and presidency.
Irrespective of the fact that
Now,
Nigerians are interested or not.
Yes. Now, two, the issue of entitlement. One funny commentator said, "You don't use a country to say thank you to one person." That's just can be funny, and you can say something very important in a very funny way. You don't use a whole country to say thank you to somebody for the favors that rendered you. Let me tell you something. I do not think, I must be frank, that this is a time for somebody who is just trying to fulfill an ambition. Nigeria is at a crossroads, serious crossroads, and we need people who can pull out of it, not just who want to fulfill. You could see that Buhari became president and all the things we expected from him, we didn't get. As I said, but has got his lifelong ambition. Lifelong ambition since I started contesting 4 times. People say he will not come again, and he now came back.
And in the belief of many, nothing came out of it.
Yeah, so you should be.
So it's time to shine our eyes.
You should be careful of those who have the lifelong ambition. Because you can just get ambition and live also
for ambition's sake.
Yes, and
not
people
for
are
service
afraid.
delivery,
Yes.
not for good
So we
governance.
need to be careful with that kind of
All right,
thing.
thank you very
But
much.
he has the right to aspire, and I know a lot of people that expect what house compared for him. Good up to him. If God wants to use him to help us, fine. But I'm worried about those who are just there for that strong ambition.
All right,
Nigeria's
silence.
needs now are more than just ambition.
Yes, Nigeria, I think, yeah, he just made the point. Nigeria's needs now are more than just ambition. Well, let me go to Kaduna where Isaiah Benjamin is waiting for us. Isaiah, good evening. For want of time, quickly bring us up to speed as to happenings in Kaduna as we speak. All right, Isaiah is no longer there again. Well, Chibuzo, I think we need to go on a break. Let's take water, then we'll continue with the discussion. Don't go away. It's still the big issue. We'll be back shortly.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
The Big Issue. Breaking down the issues that matter.
Welcome back. It's still the big issue for this Thursday evening, March 31st, 2022. Is the last day of the month.
Yeah.
By tomorrow, it will be a new month. And April
When they
Fool.
call April Fool.
Well, these are facts matters for now. Now, let's continue the discussion with another aspirant from the business world, Mazi Sam Ohabunwa. Is well known to both of you, a businessman par excellence. He has paid his due in almost everything he does. But I don't know, Silas, whether Mazi Sam Ohabunwa is the kind of person Nigeria we need in 2023.
Yeah, like people are saying, he's already in his 70s. Like you was said earlier, that maybe Tinubu should have come earlier. When he still had the energy and the drive. Okay, so I don't know whether Sam is coming in this time of 70s. But when he spoke yesterday, it looks very, very dry. Some people can be, from their age, they can be advanced, but they're still very dry. Because of the kind of life God gave them, because of the kind of skill they have, kept in their lifetime. Okay, he's 70, but Nativo is also said to be 70.
They're all 70s.
So if you look at them,
Tinubu is 70.
you think that
Atiku is over 70.
if you look at Tinubu and Farm and their ability, you think that maybe Tinubu is 20 years older than him. But that's by the way, people have different body makes. But this very, very intelligent guy, he has done well in his profession. Okay, but I've not seen him go to power. So the issue of experience, and two, he will have a difficult communicating to the average voter. His name doesn't ring a bell.
I was going to say that. Is he known to a person in Ilela, Sokoto, or Kano?
That's different. That's difficult, for him. That's
Irrespective of his credentials.
That's a bridge too far from the court. Before you could get people to understand who he is in the short time we have, it will take a lot of campaigning and putting people on the ground. That's the kind of advantage that people like Tinubu and Tiku and those who have held on power like governors had, because they have been in press for so long. They have done, they don't need that. They need it, but they don't need to start breaking fresh ground like he has breaking. So that you can't against him. Whether he's an excellent mind, he is. These kind of people are people that can help a nation because of their intellect, because of their forthrightness. But the way
And he has, in fairness to him,
he has people know how to
the
do the
economic team of different PDP administrations.
Yes, he has been there working for
I think at a point was the chairman of the Nigeria Economic Summit Group.
So to be that kind of thing, you have to have the brains, intelligence, the understanding of the economy and so on. But I would think that this kind of people should continue playing this kind of supportive role, working behind pulling the strings behind the scenes for those who are there. For political power, you need to have popularity to elect him to get the votes, because getting votes is what matters. So he's a good guy. He has the qualities of a president, but politically, he may not have the leverage,
The political clout.
yes, to get to that point.
Not too bad. What do you have to take? You have to take.
I think Salah summed it up nicely. However, you know, he could be one of those who represents a fresh. It could bring a fresh perspective to how governance should be. Because all of these other guys, or most of the other guys that will be going up against, are people that are already in the system.
Have structures.
It's good, it's fine, it's okay, but peradventure he gets the ticket and he eventually gets to become president, he is likely going to come up with something different, because he'll be coming out from, he'll be looking at it from the outside, and his business sense is also something that will work for him. I still do believe that the major issue that will be confronted with after the Buhari election is the economy. Yes, unity, all of that, but the economy. Get the economy right,
Every other thing will fall
most
into
of the
place.
things will fall into place. And I think with his own background, practical, raw, clean, corporate experience, clean record and all of that, if he brings that on the table, it's going to help after 2023.
All right, for one of time, let's quickly go to another aspirant from the business world
Yes.
or the academics, because now he has left the business world for the academics. Kisley Mogalu, former Central Bank of Nigeria's deputy governor, who at now is residing in the US, but is back home to actually take a shot at the presidency. Let me come back to you, Chibuzo Okebe. How do you see Professor Mogalu?
Fantastic guy, brilliant mind, young, vibrant, the kind of
An
person
intellectual.
you believe should be in this race. He represents the kind of leadership the demography of Nigeria should be looking forward to, because it is not just about the now, it's about the future. However, there are still concerns about his being perhaps too elitist and too detached, not detached in the sense of not wanting to connect, but by virtue of perhaps his nature and intellectualism, he appears to be a bit detached from the grassroots. So that might be a major, thing he has to fear. But as per quality and the kind of 22nd century leadership we should be expecting, I think is the guy to look out for.
Yeah, quickly, Silas, you have anything to say about
No,
Kisley
yeah,
Mogalu,
yeah,
the man showing on our screen as we speak? Young,
practically what
energetic.
it is. A country that wants to cross, certain, level. Yeah, now, this kind of person is but I fear for him because he is coming to the, so he is running on a weak platform. Okay, and two, well, who can say the professor that used to theories and code?
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
The Big Issue. Breaking down the issues that matter. The Big Issue. Breaking down the issues that matter.
All right, welcome back from the short break, and we apologize for that little hitch over there. Now we continue the discussion, Chibuzo. Now let's go to former Senate President Bukola Saraki, who, in the words of Senator Dino Melayi, he was the unremovable Senate President and no-nonsense Senate President of the 8th Senate. So he's also angling to become president in 2023. He has picked up his nomination and special interest form. Is he the kind of person Nigeria will want to be in the saddle come 2023?
Absolutely fits into that category too. Category two of upward intellectual kind of leadership we have. Again, for the right kind of demography that we have. The bulk of Nigerians today are in their youth. Are the youth. They need somebody they can connect with, somebody who is within that age bracket, somebody who can, relate with them. And I think Saraki falls into that age bracket, and the way he has carried himself as Senate President, he was able to have sat the legislature, which is the bedrock of democracy, by the way. He was able to assert that. And
It's
it shows,
independence.
yes, it shows he's somebody who would be pragmatic enough to do what it is that has to be done to get this country moving forward. So I think he fits into that. But you know, the thing that has always come up every time when people mention his name is, where do you fit in? How does he fit in? Is he Yoruba or is he?
Oh, good.
You know,
He
or
always
is he
described
outside?
himself,
You know.
Silas, as the bridge
Yes,
between the
exactly,
south and north.
Exactly.
He's a southerner to an extent. He's a northerner to an extent. So
If we're not central.
is a cut? You can
And it's a beautiful thing. You know, the reason why I raise that up is that some people use that to say, oh no, they might not, but it's a
It
beautiful
should even
thing.
be an advantage.
Exactly.
Like, you can fit in and fit in.
Exactly.
But to not say that we don't belong
Yeah,
anywhere too.
he has a father from northern Nigeria.
You know,
He has a mother from southern Nigeria.
So he has so much at stake to ensure the country remains united because he fits in everywhere you put him.
And his
You know.
capacity is not in that at
Absolutely,
all.
of course.
Honestly.
It's a given.
He's a medical doctor by profession.
Yes.
Has been a governor for 8 years.
Yes. Senator for 8 years. Senate
Yeah.
president.
And he has done all this thing. I still young, within, I think it's early 60s.
Yes.
Early
No.
60s.
So,
Late 50s, early 60s.
No, 60, 61 or so.
so who is in that bracket that should has enough experience without being another person. He knows how the executive works, knows how the legislative works. And I think it's a good, only just say that now it's not about zoning and where you come from for balance there. You might not favor him. But if we look beyond all those
Zone.
he
A
is
unifier for that matter.
he's a good
Material, presidential material.
I also there's some also nobody the same. They have they have some much in the past. That bank, I was wrong that, but it's not just him, it's about the whole family. Okay.
And I think people actually have been blowing that story out of proportion for political reasons because he was not directly in charge of the bank and the rest of them. I think it's just politics. All right, let's look at the next person on our list. Former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi. Peter Obi is angling to become president. He was the vice presidential candidate of the PDP in the 2019 general election. Now he wants to be the man behind this wheel steering.
Yes, I think Peter also fits the bill in terms of the age that people like Bangla spoke about, those in the early 60s, have enough experience and still young enough, active. It's, he also has a hands-on experience as governor of Anambra State, and he did wonderfully well as governor. That's the kind of the kind of experience, the kind of thing to show, okay, I have done it here. Maybe Nigeria is a bigger, Nigeria is a kind of Anambra is like a market of Nigeria is a bigger, and not just Anambra is people, this all Nigeria. But the fact that he has going to Anambra State, going to put place was practically those are run by warlords, political warlords, who even kidnapped the governor, sitting governor, and made the first governor in 1999, made him useless, ran the state ground, but he came in, cleaned up the place, turned the place around. In fact, so, and something good for him, which has been a problem for Nigeria, is that he doesn't believe in wasting money, especially government money. And if you look at the budget system I've had in the past, you see 20 billion budgeted for buying the cutlery, 15 billion to replace electrical, we need to be that you can't take that kind of thing because he knows money is important because okay, he's a billionaire, but he lives a very simple life. So I think that he fits the bill politically, even as a private citizen, he's done well in the corporate world. No one has tainted him with any kind of debt where he gets money. As a governor, at the time somebody said that the FCC has been looking around to see where anywhere to pin him down. They are searching everywhere. So when he came to power, the government was owing billions. He paid off everything and left 8 billion. And they say that not on all states. They say that it's not again great taxes in any way. He revived the, he did wonderfully well. And everyone knows. Let me tell you, when you go to the streets, I was passing somewhere last week. Someone said, it's coming from I think this state or so. He said, look, if they can give up to our problem will have some. In fact, he says, yes, but they don't give him. He didn't know that I also share the same view that he's the kind of people that Nigeria needs. But um, I think that I think Nigeria will take a leap forward if they allow if they give him and allow him to work. Because giving him one thing, you know, all the things that but it's someone that can stand him down and say, no, this thing I can take this, I can't take this one. And if you see the way he fought up those godfathers in Anambra and able to achieve and able to achieve what they achieved for the state, I think you can still deal with those people who are trying to make Nigeria does not work.
Oh.
You can't have a to be and Nigeria doesn't know how much of you can do. But we are gotten fuel and you have to, you know, if you stay there for days, those kind of things, you know, as a person, you don't feel comfortable with that kind of story about it. So he's a good candidate. If he gets there, I think Nigerians will begin to make amends. But like the system is system, nobody knows what happened. And I also think that they will not allow someone like this to get there because they will not be able to fund the kind of deals that are cutting now. So those are the things that
why can't we work towards that kind of thing to have a prudent person at the helm of Zambia?
That's it. You know when power is people go to power for defense, who want to own the power so they can use him to achieve their own personal end.
Oh.
So with this kind of person, they may feel that if I put that there, if I have to go there, if I bring a budget that will cost 200 million and make it 2 billion, Peter may not agree. And that thing can work against him.
I think that Peter has proven that he can swim against the tide and succeed.
Yeah, exactly the way.
He did that in Anambra State when nobody gave him a chance to do it. He fought against the system. When I mean this, I don't mean now he fought against the subterranean system, and he prevailed. Now it takes a very not just prudent but a compassionate person to preside over a state like Anambra and leave that huge amount of money while you are living. It takes a whole lot of compassion.
And leave the place in peace.
Yes.
No rancor.
So
We've run out of time. Let's quickly look at the last person on our list, but not the least, the big masquerade, Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo. Now, Osinbajo, people believe, should be the natural successor of President Muhammadu Buhari because it's part of the change agenda government. Now Buhari is going, and Buhari says he has done a lot. You need somebody who will continue the good work we have done. And who could that person be, if not the person who has been with him, you know, as a spare tire for the past 7 years or so? But then
I don't know whether I've been ironic. But what is the change? But you are not asking the change that you got in 7 years. Is it a change for the better or for the worse?
But the feelers from the presidency are saying, well, the president is looking to a different direction to have a successor, not even the vice president, and not even
We don't know that.
We don't know for now. But Osinbajo, the president of Nigeria,
He's a president champ. First of all, he revived in fact, when he was in Lagos State, the work he did there is still telling, okay? And then as vice president, the few times the president was out of, the country, he had the mantle. There were some good changes that Nigerians could feel. So Nigerians are looking at those schools and saying, look, give this guy a chance. Some of the things that happened up Buhari, the bad ones, Buhari did some good ones, of course. Some of the bad ones that happened up Buhari, maybe this man will not allow it. So that is the selling point. That the few times he was in charge, some good things happened. And he was not allowed to continue. In fact, when he left, some of the things were reversed. So Nigerians are looking at it that this man has shown that if given with power, he can do something good. Okay. The only thing is that he has not been long enough as an chief executive for us to measure him long term. But the fact that he maintained a good relationship with the president over this time is also a plus for him. Some people fall out like that. Some people within a short time have fallen out with their principal. So he's a loyal person. And also, what might be Nigeria asking, like, can he go when his own godfather is also in the race? Can he fight through that? If he can overcome that, he'll be a good candidate.
That's an interesting question. Chibuzo, political editor. Is it possible for one to be subservient for life? As in, you remain a political godson to somebody for life. You can't have, you can't dare to become in charge.
It's tough, particularly in a country like Nigeria. It's tough. But I think there's a higher calling. When the higher calling comes, you make up your mind and you run with it with the best of intentions in mind. And I look at Osinbajo and I do believe he's a consensus man with a heart for good. Like Mr. Silas did point out, when is he going to do and come out and declare? When he does declare, every other thing I believe is going to fall into place, because I think he has the kind of mindset to manage it.
Many thanks to you, Chibuzo. On that note, we have to call it a day. That's how much we have today on the big issue. In 2023, Nigerians, we expect a president who will be a pan-Nigerian, who will be a lover of all, who will be a unifier, not a president that will balkanize.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.